happened in the 90s.
See the astonishing real-life stories of people whose obsession with revenge drove them too far on America's Most Wanted. Then, attorney Simon McKeith must defend a shock comic charged with obscenity.
You're gonna lose the case unless you can keep your mouth shut.
Theirs is a match made in heaven.
You're in contempt again.
No, Your Honor, you are!
Officer.
And all new Against the Law at its new day and time, Friday at 9, 8 Central, right after America's Most Wanted.
We were discussing Kiss and their validity in the pantheon of rock. And even Jack Black I'd probably tell you, he is like the curator of the Rock Hall of Fame, basically, to me. He'll tell you who is what because he's part of Tenacious D, the greatest rock band of all time.
Rigga-goo-goo-goo.
Exactly. Rigga-goo. Rigga-goo. But no, they're not there. And we were just discussing, like, they're in the 90s, they were kind of, and even in the 2000s. Let me just rewind that because I just slurred the fuck out of that, and I'm not even drunk, Steve. Even in the 2000s, Kiss was just kind of this lame thing where Gene Simmons was just trying to fucking schlock Kiss memorabilia, like Kiss caskets and Kiss wallets and all this Kiss dinnerware and shit.
I got this Kiss pop.
Exactly. Yes, I have a Kiss tongue that I've signed. That's a bust of my tongue. But I'm saying to Steve right now, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I bet Kiss has a Bitcoin or some kind of digital currency. Let's just see, Steve. Let's take it to the internet. Kiss crypto, Steve. Kiss
Of course.
fucking crypto.
Of fucking course, because if you didn't get the Kiss lunch pail, the Kiss cereal, the Kiss action figures, the Kiss fucking tour from 70 DVD set, the Kiss socks, if you didn't get that, we got Kiss crypto. Jesus. Simmons.
You pay Gene
fragile.
Simmons enough money at this point, Steve. You could pay him to come over and sing Detroit Rock City a cappella and lick your wife's twat with his fucking gross tongue. I mean, there's some kind of mutation there, Steve. I don't even get that. I don't like that. He might be a demon
Come on,
from
everybody!
hell, Steve. But everybody, before we get into it, we got to just wish a happy birthday to the one and the only Steve fucking G. He has come. Happy birthday, dude. You're old. You're old and
Thank you.
cool. I said that on your Facebook page, but you are. You're old and cool. So congratulations, dude. You did it. You've made
Thank
it.
you, my good friend. Thank you. All of the gods, the Virgo gods have called upon thee.
All that
Stephen
satanic shit we
Barrett.
did in college, Steve, worked out. I told you. A couple of
Yeah,
blood
man.
sacrifices, a couple of things. We're good. It's fine.
Couple of trips to the doctor. Fuck my spine up doing that whole 360 thing.
Yeah.
Couple times.
Yeah, but you're good. You're fine. But that's
Yeah,
awesome,
man.
dude. We're here. You might be I like going into a conversation. This is the first thing Steve says to me when the power's on. Well, I've been drinking. I love that.
been
I like that
drinking.
as a start.
Oh man, those episodes when Steve drinks. Man, I'm glad that this year Stevie G Day fell on the weekend.
Hell yeah,
'Cause-
dude. Get to fucking relax.
This is the time of football. This is the time of the new season premieres of shows, series premieres of shows. This is the time basketball is around the corner. MLB playoffs is around the corner. And I like orange things. I like pumpkin. I'm a basic bitch. I like my pumpkin lattes. I'm not going to lie to you, Matt. I like my pumpkin spice lattes. This is the
Okay.
time for pumpkin tasting
Work,
things.
bitch.
I'm just saying, Matt. I appreciate a pumpkin flavored thing.
I just have to have some pumpkin latte, just some kind of fall memorabilia of some kind in my house. Live, laugh, love on a pumpkin. You know that whole thing. That's the energy. That's the life.
Live, love, laugh.
That's what you're doing right now, Steve. You're living, you're laughing, and you're loving, and I respect that.
And I'm drinking this cup of glorious.
I mean, I respect the decision, and I feel it makes me feel better about my drinking. But you do it, you do it better than I do. But just give me a margarita, Steve. Give me a margarita and enough time that I can recover the next day. And I mean, ask my wife. Ask her who Margie Matt is, because you put some margarita in me, shit gets crazy, Steve.
Well, that's what Gloria is. Gloria is a margarita mix, and I got that blue stuff. That blue stuff.
Yeah, I'm
And
telling you. Oh, the blue. I've had that. I like that. That's nice. But you added a little extra sum to it. So by the end of this, you never know.
oh man, and the lady at the local liquor store, I had to show her my ID, even though she didn't ask. She saw the grays, but I was like, I just wanted to be that guy. Like, hey, look at the date. Look at the date. Yeah. Happy birthday. Oh, I'll give you a free shot.
What?
So I was like, yeah,
No,
yeah,
what?
give me. So I asked the lady, give me some of that pink stuff. So she gave me some of this pink stuff. Thank you, lady at the corners liquor store. Uh, she gave me some of that pink stuff.
Oh, I thought
And
that
I
was
like
like
it
a
when they give me that.
euphemism, like you got some pussy at the liquor store. You just got some
Not
pink.
yet.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, Steve.
It's right around the corner.
Happy birthday. That's amazing. Well, one thing I wanted to say, and I just give us our props on air. Why the fuck not? Um, I was just looking, first of all, as a consumer of the show. I don't usually watch our episodes once they're out. I'll click on them. I'll give us the
Whoa.
like, but I don't fully watch it. I've edited it. I know the sauce
You
that's in
already
there
you already seen it, yeah.
many
watched it, but
times,
yours
over and
don't
over
count.
again.
It
But
doesn't count in the algorithms, yeah.
I do still watch it. I do watch it. I'll watch like a little bit just to get the like, get the view. It's cheating, but whatever. But anywho, I got high the other night, Steve, and just it came on the latest episode. I fast forwarded, and I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I was laughing my ass off at us, and it wasn't because of it's us. I was genuinely laughing. So I would just like to say I'm into it, Steve. I like the show. So yay, self props. And also,
Critics
if
are
you
raving
watch
about
our
it.
old episodes, we've turned it up significantly. It was
Oh
just
yeah.
us on some dusty Zoom screen. We look fantastic now. We sound fantastic. I mean, the upgrades, and I'm very appreciative. So, just like I said, happy birthday. Thanks for doing this
Thank you, sir.
with me, bud. It's all
Thank you for doing this with me, man. It was, you know what? This was the universe. The universe told us that the one day I reached out to you, the gods were like, hey, reach out to your buddy. You guys have been talking about doing like collabs on other people's show, on each other's shows. Ask if he wants to do another show. And then the gods told you, like, yeah, dude, yeah, why don't you do it? You already doing this one. I don't know why God sounds like Jerry Seinfeld, but he was just like, hey, do it. Hey, man, do it. Go ahead.
Well, you made it. We've actually made it work. Sometimes you start those things and they don't last. And this is episode 88, Steve. 88.
Good
88
year.
weeks of just glory of the 90s that we're helping populate into the world. We're keeping it alive, Steve. The shows we talked about today, one of which very famous, long lasting. The other, it might get lost to time, except it's on YouTube and very viewable. But we're curating some 90s shit, Steve, and I'm into it. So get high, watch it yourself one day, and I want to see if you agree with me. I'm into it.
Oh, I watch our shows. Out of all the 88 episodes, I might have missed one or two because I had things and situations going on and things of that nature. But dude, I am pleasantly pleased because like you said, we have turned it up. And this isn't just for play. It's just getting more familiar with how we can make our show better.
Yeah, and write in, call in, call into the Happened in the 90s line, 1-800-HIT-90s.
Critics are raving about this. It's the new podcast that just hit the streets. Happened in the 90s. Everyone's talking about it. It even has your mom.
Perfect.
And then tune in to Happened in the 90s After Dark, where
They
Steve.
get real spicy.
That's the Patreon, Steve. That's it. That's it. Happened in the 90s After Dark. I like that.
Well, I think one of the shows we're going to talk about, the people of our era are familiar with it. It's just one of those lost in the circle, man. It was just, it was a time of great shows happening, and it was a show that only lasted about 3 or 4 seasons.
And it's filled with like hitters. It's not like main actors, but like everybody in the show is like a bit part actor that you've seen in a bunch of other shit. Everybody. Or heard in some cases, I guess.
Before we really get into it, man, I gotta say, man, this is something I just like realized. The thing about I appreciate about DMV in Virginia in particular, you guys don't include West Virginia in any of your fucking reindeer games, and it's kind of funny to me because it's like DC, Maryland, and Virginia, they're like, all right, we're going to have our conference. We kind of have our party. We're going to go to our exclusive group. And West Virginia, they're like the guy at the door. They're like, no, man, talk to Virginia. Like, he knows me. Like, part of me is his name. Like, no. And then Virginia comes at the door.
You can't see that.
And Virginia's just like, yeah, dude,
I mean, go there, Steve. That's what I'm saying. You know what? Here's a hilarious thing living here. I found out the only reason why Virginians go to West Virginia. Strip clubs. There's no strip clubs in Virginia, Steve. You got to go to West Virginia to see titties.
No titties in Chesapeake?
Not
no
at
titties
least in my area. You got everybody goes to West V to fucking see some pee and some tea.
No titties in Richmond? God damn.
I mean, I haven't even seen a Hooters. You know, like these people are buttoned up. And I mean, for good reason. A lot of them are nursing diabetes comas and fucking big ass fucking hooves and shit, you know?
Well, God bless your hearts, man. For you to be that desperate. We don't have any strip clubs, so we have to go to West Virginia. And I couldn't even imagine, I hate to imagine what strip clubs in West Virginia are like.
You're going to make me come, or I'm going to kick your butt.
Oh, it's a house, bro, with a fucking sign, because we drove past one and it was just like, dude, that is a house. That's a straight up fucking house. So, you know, go to West Virginia strip clubs and get some HPV or whatever, you know.
You might see a third titty on some Total Recall shit. West Virginia, I mean,
a lot of C-section scars, a lot of bullet wounds, you know, a lot of stab wounds probably. But they're going strong. They're going strong out there, making that money, Steve.
Dude, I would go to DC. If it was that dire of a need to go to a strip club, West Virginia is definitely, it's not on my list for anything. Not for not for, I don't want to meet a chick there. I don't want to
dude, and they don't want to meet you, honestly, Steve. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of racism there too, you know. It's not great.
Exactly. That part.
But I will say, just to tell you, I mean, DC, good choice, because legal weed everywhere. Fucking DC's great for all the evil people that live there and work there. Just the overall vibe of the city is awesome. Shout out Chocolate City Wellness. Fantastic weed.
I like the name. That might be my new strip name.
Barbecue? Come on, it's practically winter. Baggett? McDonald's? Hey, McRib. Now you're talking. Fries? And a Coke? Tell me more. A McRib pack. We'll take 4. Better hurry, huh? McRib. McDonald's?
Well, hey, boys and girls. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about things that happened in the 90s. So get out your 3-6 Mafia posters and your Red Man tees, because it's time for some action. Time for some action. Time for some action. Give me some of that funky fly stuff. Give me some of that funky fly stuff. Yeah, man. We're going to be talking about all things September 22nd into 999s.
It's exciting.
Starting off in 1990, future Hall of Famer Andre Dawson steals his 300th base and is the only player other than Willie Mays to have 300 home runs, 300 steals, and 2,000 hits. The Achilles heel of Mr. Andre Dawson, he played on shitty teams his whole fucking career. He's like a Mitch Richmond of sorts of MLB. It was like, dude, you're an all-star. You're always selected. You're trying your hardest. But in this team sport, you're playing for the fucking Padres. You're playing for the Cubs when they bewail before they were good. And I want to say he played for the Marlins for some time. He just played for teams who wrong place, wrong time. But he did his thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had mad fucking Andre Dawson baseball cards like you see there. Dude, Topps was just fucking killing it. Those baseball cards. But yeah, that's one of those things. It must suck to be an awesome, legendary athlete and just play for some just trash, you know? But you're getting paid. I mean, he was you knew him, but
he was a name.
He ain't winning. Let's put it like that.
I'm trying to think of another example. Dan Marino. It's like, dude, do you really want to spend your whole career with the Dolphins? I get it. Don Shula, he's important, but damn, bro, like you ain't gonna
Barry
win.
Sanders, like, you know,
Barry
he ain't never won a fucking
Sanders.
championship, but he was maybe the greatest athlete of all time at that point. So even Bo Jackson. I mean,
Bo Jackson,
he was playing
like
for the Raiders and shit, though. I guess
that team was pretty good. Yeah, and so the Royals were decent. He played with George Brett. But Barry, I think he only won one playoff game his whole career, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe two. And like,
just
it's fucking Barry.
Fucking people his whole fucking career. Dude. It was wild to watch. Barry Sanders was, and he's still a beast, dude. That guy, if you see him now, he looks almost identical to when he was playing. He hasn't aged. It's like because some fucking pads.
He was smart. It's like,
yeah,
dude,
hell yeah.
If I continue to play for the Lions, I am going to get demolished. Why I still have my fucking psyche intact, let me just get out while the getting is good. I've solidified my name in the game. I'm a legend. I ain't never gonna win with these motherfuckers. They're gonna keep paying me.
And the Lions just swallowed talent too, because there's him, there's Calvin Johnson. That dude should have been a legend. I mean, he is, but I mean, that guy got triple teamed and would still get like 200 fucking yards receiving. But that is wild. Damn, don't play for Detroit. Good luck, Dan Campbell.
Yeah, seriously. But somebody who didn't know about Andre Dawson getting that moniker, that record, probably Denard Robinson, American football player, because he was born. The fucker also played for that team up north. He's also that fucker that was on the cover of the last NCAA 2K, which is why I didn't buy it. Yeah, because I'm that petty. Ask about us, Virgos. And like, no, seriously, I've been told by all accounts, people who played NCAA, oh, it's the best one out of the series. I was like, well, shit, I'll just take your word for it because I wouldn't know from personal experience.
So what if I just like handed you the disc with it's like there's no indication. It's the game. I mean, he might show up on the first screen. You're just saying because of that and just the vibe in general, you're not playing it.
Because of that. Look, Woody Hayes refused to stop. He made sure the bus was gassed up before he made it to that state up north, because he was not going to fucking add any currency to that state. That was how serious it was. Exactly. And
here's my thing though, Steve. That's Michigan, Ohio State. You're a Dallas fan. Does the same thing extend to, I don't know, the Philadelphia Eagles?
Fuck yeah, dude.
So if Donovan McNabb or somebody was on that fucking cover, you weren't playing that game.
Donovan McNabb could eat a chunky soup dick.
Have you ever seen the video of when he gets pulled over for DUI?
I haven't, but I want to now.
The, he gets pulled over and the cop's like, "Where are you coming from?" And he's drunk as fuck and he's like, "Over there." It's so fucking weird, dude. It's hilarious. And you can tell that people know who it is because they're like, "Ah, shit, it's Donovan. We gotta fucking arrest this dude. We have to. We don't want to, but fuck." Well, that's
Never won
crazy,
us a
Steve.
Super Bowl.
You lost out. I stopped playing NCAA. That shit was fire though. When you just created a dynasty college, Steve, you
But
were
get this,
into that.
Matt.
You loved that. You
I
loved
loved
that
it.
shit.
And I was a faithful. I bought it every year until this fucker showed up on the cover. And get this, they're coming out with a new one improved. We're back.
Who's on the
Yes,
cover
because
though? You better hope it's not a Michigan player.
it won't be any of these fuckers, but because of the NIL shit, yeah. Like we're back in the game, and I said I was going to get the Madden, but I'm going to hold it out until that new NCAA, who won't have any of these fuckers on it. But in 1991, Herman's Head airs the episode Days of Wine and Herman. Herman and Heddy are asked to speak at a party in honor of Mr. Bracken's 20 years with the company.
And you said you watched this. You knew this show. And I got to say, audience, Steve, I don't even fucking remember. I remember all these people minus the main dude, but yeah, I don't remember this, Steve. That's not to say
So,
it's not good, but I just don't remember it being a thing at all.
so did you just handpick your Fox shows? Like, because this aired around the time Simpsons aired, In Living Color. It was a part of that block.
I
And I
was
know
in
you
and
watched
out,
that stuff.
Steve. I was in and out. Maybe I had to go get a slice of pizza, a cinnamon roll. Maybe I had to fucking go play some Nintendo. I don't know. Old Matt, just he was he went where the wind took him, Steve. So this one, the wind didn't take me in that direction. I'm sorry, but I don't remember. Again, very memorable cast, but not for this show. So
So you were like, "Oh, Simpsons is off. Herman's Head. Yeah, Herman's Head. My dick. Where's my Super Nintendo?"
exactly,
Eh,
you just explained it right there. That's probably exactly what happened, Steve. So, but back to Herman's Head. The show is basically, first off, I gotta just say, Pixar ripped this show off and made that movie Inside Out, and it's basically it's this, but a Pixar movie. So shame on fucking Pixar.
did they have a lust character though?
Well, I think they might have changed the character, but it was like anger. It's the same shit. It just wasn't. And Lust being a
Greed
fat
or
guy,
something.
I don't get that either. But we're going back and forth. So this show is about Herman, and Herman is a businessman. I don't really know what he does, but he's some kind of businessman.
He works in
Um,
an office.
and half of the show is him, and then half of the show is inside his dingy ass apartment head that's filled with his emotions or these personality traits. And Steve, who are they, Steve?
Intellect, sensitivity, anxiety, and lust. And lust, I had somewhat of a Mandela effect on this, like because looking back on it, I thought it was Artie Lang, and now watching it and looking up on IMDb, like that's totally not Artie Lang.
Yeah, this guy, I know the lust guy from the movie The Ladies Man, that's from the
Okay.
SNL shit. And he was he was like a guy getting cucked by his wife in the movie. He's always just like a nerdy dude, you know?
Ken Hudson Campbell.
Yeah. Shout out the movie The Ladies Man too. I think that was in the 90s. That movie's hilarious. Tim Meadows kills that movie. And it's got Tiffany Amber Thiessen looking fine. And Hillary from Fresh Prince is in it, looking hella fine as well. That's actually who reigns in The Ladies Man. But back to Herman's Head, Steve. He's filled with emotions, and all these emotions are these people, and so you get to see inside his head. This is pretty. I mean, I would have enjoyed this show. I'm gonna start watching it. It's on YouTube, but yeah, it's interesting. In this one, he's working. He works in this office. One of the secretaries is played by Lisa Simpson, Yardley Smith, being like a salty, just sort of nihilistic secretary who basically is dead inside, Steve, seems like.
Louise, yeah, she's the secretary, and the manager of the office, Mr. Bracken, uh, play. I can't. I think it's Brian Leonard, and he's somewhat of a no nonsense boss. Herman comes in late, and Mr. Bracken announces that he has an announcement to make. It'll be his 20th anniversary tomorrow, and he'll be receiving a service award. And the executive, Mr. Crawford, said it'd be nice if someone in the office could share some kind words about Mr. Bracken. So Mr. Bracken basically volunteers Herman to prepare a 5 to 10 minute speech on how his boss is so cool.
Like, could I get a little fucking more notice, please? What kind of shit is this? This would be terrifying, Steve. But one really quick point I'd like to make that I think you would love from what we just talked about. Lust, fat guy Lust, he's rocking an Ohio State jersey at one point in this show, Steve.
I noticed that. Yeah.
So somebody clearly was a Buckeye. Shout out Buckeyes, OSU. Not a fan, but live there. What's up? And you know, so he's got to make this fucking speech, and now his personalities they're pinging. This is craziness. This is sending Herman inside into a tizzy. Basically, he's panicking.
The intellect, they cut into Herman's head, and the intellect part, who also is like a true value Tim Robbins. That's how he comes across to me. Maybe it's the forehead, but it's like a poor man Shawshank.
He's and, like well, first of all, he's in Blackish. I realize just now he's the dude's boss in Blackish.
Wow.
But I thought it was Clarissa Explains It All's dad, and that's who I thought it was, but it's not that guy. It's who I just said. But you know, his intellect's like, we should have this. We got this. But then, you know, apparently as a kid, Herman had some issues with public speaking. They bring up some Hiawatha speech where he started to stutter and he wet himself, Steve.
And threw up on the stage. But why are you giving an ayahuasca speech in grade school? Did you know what ayahuasca was in grade school?
I think it was from the Native American. I think it was Hiawatha, which sounds incredibly like ayahuasca. Either way, I mean, you know, this guy, he had some issues. If he was on ayahuasca, I mean, he was shooting shit everywhere. He was puking. So and he needs to be concerned because he was a child taking ayahuasca. I'd be concerned too.
It's totally, man, especially you're in grade school. Why is this kid, I don't know, pick a grade, K-6, knowing anything about this drug? But yeah, that was the thing. Herman stuttered, pissed his pants, and threw up on stage. But Herman accepts this opportunity. But his coworker, Heddy, she also offers to say a few words as well, even though she wasn't asked. Now Herman has competition. And the next scene, we have Herman and his friend Jay, played by the legend. Is it safe to call Hank Azaria a legend?
Yeah.
Anybody, yeah. The legend Hank Azaria is at the bar, and his character Jay, he basically plays a puss hound. He's kind of like Jack Tripper's friend from Three's Company that was always like, hey, Jack, we're going to the Regal Beagle, get a couple babes. Yeah. That's the role Jay plays, Hank Azaria. And like he's trying to holler at a chick and she basically sees right through him. She says that he's like an egotistical fucking self-centered fucking prick basically, and he's just like yeah, so you want to fuck still or what?
I mean, he's just sex. He might be a sex addict, Steve, because he's like, you need to put some jokes in your speech, you know, something about big cans. It's like, big all titties. Right, dude, just fucking chill out. I can't be talking
cows
about
and
big
chickens.
Titties.
Yeah, you should be talking about cows and chickens and titties and whatnot.
Yeah, and you know, Letty also, she's a bitch, you know. I'm sorry, but she is. And she's like, you know, I have a boyfriend and he works at Letterman and he's gonna write my speech for me. And they're like, David Letterman? She's like, yeah, you fucking tud. It's like, how does this bitch know a writer of David Letterman? Steve, what's going on here?
Because the bitch is pretty hot. I'm not going to lie to you, man.
I mean,
but Jake,
all Herman has is some shit about Gandhi, some titty jokes. You know, like it's not going to go good at this point. I don't want to hear this speech.
he's got this joke about Gandhi and Madonna that's guaranteed to kill. But more on that later. And so we go to the party, the anniversary of Mr. Bracken, and Mr. Bracken is talking to Mr. Crawford, who's also a familiar face, and he says, "Thank you, Mr. Crawford, and you can stop being a stranger now." I hate that son of a bitch. I like to get back at him. And then Louise says, "Maybe you should keep talking to him." And I guess this is a running gag throughout. She tells Herman that she could almost see Mr. Bracken's breath.
Yeah,
I
apparently
guess
this dude's got a yuck mouth. But I mean, dang, I know he's
Yeah.
your boss and shit, but you gotta tell a dude.
Yeah.
If you saw him, like, I mean, if you're like fucking warding off animals and shit, I mean, everybody that sees him, this is their posture. You know, like you put two and two together. He's a smart guy. Also, this whole show, he's like answering random trivia questions that Yardley Smith's like throwing out at him, and this guy's on it, except apparently with a toothbrush because he's got a fucking yuck mouth,
Yeah,
smelling
Crest
like
was not
ugly
his friend.
Jason.
And that's what Jason Bernard, the guy who plays Mr. Bracken, he was also in Liar Liar. And shortly after filming Liar Liar, Bernard suffered a heart attack on October 18th, 96. He had been driving his car in Burbank, California when he was stricken and was involved in a rear end accident. Bernard was rushed to Providence, St. Joseph's Medical Center in Burbank, where he died. And he was survived by his wife, Deborah, and son, Jason Jr.
Damn. Well, I do. He was the judge in Liar Liar, I think.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's cool. I mean, this guy he's funny as fuck. But Bracken, what's not funny is the gingivitis he's got on his teeth because it's minging, Steve. It's smelling like open ass.
Crest, yeah, he wasn't familiar. And Louise, played by Yardley Smith, she says that this is the perfect time to work on her self-esteem. She's got executives in the room and managers and whatnot, and this is the perfect time to practice. So the new hire asks her, "Hey, what do you do? What do you do in this office?" And she says, "I'm just the insignificant, meaningless cog." And then she walks off. "I gotta go to the restroom."
Yeah,
And
it's not going good.
meanwhile, Herman's getting shit faced. He's having a little poor ass champagne. Probably ain't even the real shit, but either way, he's getting smashed.
You can say no. I mean, like he's getting wasted because everyone's like, "Hey, Herman, let's have a toast. Let's have a drink," and it's like one after the other. At some point, you got to be like, I got 5 fucking glasses in my hands, guys. Fuck the toast. I'm hammered at this. I'm about to black. I'm out.
Well, he
I'm
did say
blacked out.
no. He actually did say no because he was feeling it, but Mr. Bracken was just like, "No, it's my anniversary, goddamn it, have some more." And
I
him,
want to see you piss yourself, you fuck.
I'm drinking, you drinking, goddamn it. And so, like him being the people pleasing company, man, he's just like, "Okay, sure, blah, blah, blah." And then Herman's having drinks with his bosses to loosen up. Now he's afraid he's going to be too smashed to give his speech.
And so are his head is really realizing this too, because at first they're like, "This, you can't get drunk, like this isn't a good idea." Now and then the personality's judgment starts getting like clouded and shit to the point where like intelligence, I think, is like passed out. Fucking Lust is fat as fuck. He's wasted, but he's trying to maintain, you know. So Herman just is, again, he's near blackout. They start the speeches. Fucking Letty or whatever her name is, she goes up and starts giving her speech. And he's been sort of saying things and sort of like trying his speech out and stuff out loud. And he realizes while this chick's giving the speech that she stole his speech, Steve. He's got fucking cue cards. He's got the whole shebang ready to go. And now it's done. She fucking plagiarized.
Fucking cunt.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what Lust said inside Herman's head. And then so he has to go up and basically free ball. And even his boy Jay, who's a titty hound, is like, "Dude, like you can't go up there, dude. You got a piss stain on your pants. You can't go up there." This is not a good career move. Like you can't do it. But he does, Steve.
he's like, Hetty's not gonna steal my thunder. And he's fucking wasted at this point, completely shit faced. And he's just like, look, I don't really like a lot of motherfuckers here. Like Mr. Crawford, we barely tolerate you. Mr. Bracken, your breath, it makes it hard for us to work. And nice party, nice tie, goddamn it.
When I was 2, my dad said something to me that I thought, and it's like, just this guy's bombing, and
Yeah.
bad enough that you're giving a bad. This ain't a wedding. This is a fucking his boss's party and his like honor and shit. So you might be losing your job, bud.
It's not a good look, I will say. Mr. Bracken and Mr. Crawford are there.
I always wondered. I worked for this one company in LA, dude, and they had a Christmas party. And it was an open bar, dude. And everybody, myself included, I was actually dancing like I've never danced before at this party, Steve. I was so wasted because they made it an open bar. And my thing is, when you do that as a company, are you like, let's suss out the real fucking degenerates here so we know? Because I saw people that these button down employees, I was like, this guy has his tie around his head near blackout, just wasted as like, like fucking, it's crazy. So Herman, he got caught up in that. Sometimes open bar doesn't mean drink as much as you can. It means you don't gotta pay.
Yeah.
The line's blurred, and his vision blurred after that 8th toast. So
and that's the time for the predators to come in. Like, who can I fucking binge off of?
So Herman, we don't really know what happened there. He basically gets pulled out, and Jay, he's a solid dude. He actually takes him home. He even says he'll stay with him if he wants, which
That's his ace.
I guess, but I'd be like, dude, no, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, that's his bro. He's just trying to make sure he's good, man.
He can sleep just fine, Steve. You don't need to stay. And also, it's a studio apartment. Whatever job Herman's doing, he ain't getting paid good to do it because he's living in a room.
Yeah, I experienced that.
But
That's
I'm just
life.
saying, I mean, in a sitcom, Steve, in a law office or whatever he's doing, like, come on, what's going
just
on?
the show
here?
just the show before, a guy can support a whole family with a house and be a shoe salesman. So
But then maybe he's in New York or something. I don't know. But Jay, that's kind of weird. Anyway, Jay's a nice guy. I'm not gonna shit on him. But Herman goes to sleep. His personalities all get wasted that night. That's funny as fuck. That's the other thing you get. There's like a second show that you're watching just with his head. So you get like a little funny little sitcom attached to it. And it's all these people are fucking funny. He goes to sleep, he wakes up, and it's the next day at the office, and he's not there yet. But he gets there by crawling in. I mean, if you're hungover, you got to hide it a little. This guy's literally just crawling to his desk, Steve.
Hey, but Mr. Bracken is not even sweating that because he tells Herman that, hey, man, I talked to the executives upstairs, and Herman's like shitting a brick. He's like, whoa, what were y'all talking about? He's already accepting the fact that he might get fired. And Mr. Bracken's just like, oh, man, keep your dick in your pants. It's okay. We were talking about how you don't really drink and how you were pretty much out of your habitat and how Hetty stole your thunder. So he was already hip to all of that was going on. And yeah, you know what, man? Not only are you fired, sit tight because I'm about to just fucking shit on Eddie all throughout this shift. You might enjoy it.
Yeah, because he did call out that she stole his shit. So everybody knows that too. And also, this guy is a miracle worker in a blackout because Louise even tells him, like, I don't feel meaningless anymore after last night. Because of the drunken advice you gave me before you pissed yourself in a corner. This was great. So yeah, I mean, but he's like, you know what? can I take the rest of the day off? Because I puked 3 times on the way up in the elevator. I think I need to go home. Just have a couple of Pedialites. I don't know. Get my
I'm
dick
seeing
sucked.
floating colors. Yeah.
But his boss is like, nah, you have to stay. But again, he gets to watch Letty get that shit ripped out of her all day today. So he's like, you should probably enjoy that. Maybe, take a shower someplace. Figure it
Get
out.
some popcorn. It's going to be a good show.
But a good show. I mean, I'm with you. Like, I didn't remember this, but this is in no way a bad. This is a good fucking product, and it's widely available on YouTube. I like you, man. YouTube. Everybody else needs to get their fucking shit together in terms of just having availability, because you go on there and it's an old show like this, Steve. You fuck
Yeah.
around and find out everything's right there. We can just watch it. It's fucking fantastic.
That won't get licensed by Hulu or HBO Max, but it's like, hey, there's always YouTube. Thank you.
Put it
YouTube.
out. Whoever's doing it, whoever put Herman's Head out in full, basically, I think. Thank you.
Now, somebody who probably didn't watch this episode of Herman's Head in 1991 is probably Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula, as he recorded his 300th win. One of the GOATs, they call him.
Great steakhouse, too, I hear. So
Even years after he's gone.
I think Shula Steakhouse is just a thing in Miami. I think it's just there,
Oh, it's going to be here because it's Don fucking Shula.
Yeah, I was about to say. And the amount of just PJ that's just slopped through there. Marino's in there having a steak, getting ready for maybe a 5-way. I don't know. I don't know how many women Don Marino had at one time, or Dan Marino had at one time. I don't know.
Or the other guy from Ace Ventura. Who is his? What was his name?
Who? Oh, Ray Finkel.
Ray fucking Finkel.
Finkel and Einhorn. Finkel and Einhorn. Finkel is a man.
But that following year, 1992, Hanging with Mr. Cooper premieres on TGIF on the ABC networks in an American comedy with the larger-than-life teacher and his housemates, starring Mark Curry himself, Holly Robinson Pete, Sandra Quarterman, Marquise Wilson, and Raven Simone.
Cooper.
Just to name a few. Dawn Lewis was there in the first season.
Dude, Holly Robinson Pete, though. We've already talked about the magnificence that is, so I'm not gonna go in depth. But what an awesome show, and a great whoever got that theme song on wax, congratulations. Hanging with my is so cool. Dude, if I was Mark, I would just have that playing all times in my house. Be like, I did that. This is it. Also, he had some good stand-up back in the day. Mark Curry.
He did, man. People sleep on his stand-up. But that same day in 1992, Blind Melon released their self-titled album, Blind Melon. And this is the one with the B.
All I can say is oh yeah, dude. Not a huge Blind Melon fan, but I think that chick's hot now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, she's probably like our age, honestly. Like,
hey, girl, keep them glasses on too. Still got that
do
little B
do
suit.
that dance.
Do my little Gene Simmons on you, girl. Ah.
Man, sit your ass down.
Yeah, I'm Blind Melon though. I don't know, Steve. Maybe I missed the boat. I was too busy listening to 311 and shit, listening to that white reggae music.
But somebody who probably also didn't listen to Blind Melon's self-titled album was probably the group Immature, because they were releasing their debut album. What was it called? On Our Worst Behavior. And this is with Batman, the guy from Sister Sister. Go home, Roger. Yeah, that motherfucker.
And the guy with the eye patch, right?
There was a guy with an eye patch biting off a Left Eye Style. Well, I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I mean, it was immature was a thing. And what's that guy's name? Oh, what is his name?
Mario. I almost said Mario Williams. That was the first draft pick of the Houston Texans back in 2006. It's is it Mario?
Is it Omarion?
No, it's not Omarion. Uh,
I don't know, but anyway, immature. You know, they were like the little sexy little boy band thing, and they were a thing. They were on some
you know,
sitcoms. You know, they had
Marcus
that.
Houston
That's it. I think there's been some allegings also. There was some allegations against somebody related to immature, I believe.
with B2K. It was the Chris Stokes, the manager of Immature and B2K, which was the group that Omarion was in. And I used to think they were brothers, Marcus Houston and Omarion. I don't know why I thought that, maybe because of the whole Chris Stokes deal.
I
But
think I just remember some guy like on a Zoom chat being like, "He touched my booty hole."
and I kind of liked it.
But yeah, you know, this wasn't up my alley, Steve. This wasn't meant for us. You know, you can enjoy it, but I was I wasn't listening to fucking immature too much, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You should have been. They weren't bad. Immature got some joints.
Okay. So did Jaquan, but nobody talks about
God damn it. But somebody who did have some joints though is that motherfucker Redman, because he releases his debut album, What the Album, on this same day, September 22nd, 1992. It is the one with the time for some action, time for some action. And it's got Tonight's the Night and How You Roll a Blunt with Eric Sermon. That's how you roll a blunt. That's how you roll a blunt. That's how you might have heard that on the How High soundtrack.
I mean, if there's somebody other than Snoop Dogg I'd love to hang out with and rap, I mean, there's a lot of people, but I feel like Redman has got to be one of the coolest people. He's so talented. I mean, as a rapper, just that, he's one of the greatest. Hilarious actor. How High, to this day, I'll watch that shit. I don't give a. It's funny. I don't give a fuck. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, get 'em. But Redman,
Don Cornelius looking motherfucker.
get him. Rudy Poo Ragged. But anywho, Redman, you a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, I figured if I study high, take the test high, get high scores, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, dude. He's this might not make sense to the uneducated, but Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. He's my favorite rapper, but Redman is my favorite MC of all time. And by that I mean Jay-Z has the catalog, the business sense, the savvy. As he famously said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. But Redman, in terms of skill and just punchlines and funny punchline and being witty time after time over the years, man, to me, he's the GOAT.
And for potheads, very influential pothead. One of the most successful. So
Now, that following year, 1993, Nolan Ryan, at the age of 46, pitches his last game for the Texas Rangers. And GOAT.
I mean, he's
But
still synonymous with pitching. It's one of the greatest. And it was just like somebody's dad out there game after game, just shredding people. Like, this guy was a fucking beast. And obviously he was, because he's about to punch a dude in the fucking face, Steve.
yeah, and this was also in his last season. Right before I leave, before my last pitch, come here, you little son of a bitch. That was Nolan Ryan.
I told you.
Thought I told your ass. Shit, how many times I got to
Who's
tell
he
you?
fucking beating?
Robin Ventura, who's
Okay.
like, who was a stud himself. But when it comes to Nolan Ryan, no, you don't want no parts.
Come
You
here,
shouldn't
young
want no-
blood. Come
Yeah,
here.
you thought you had somebody, huh? No, you
Got some
picked the wrong
bass in
one
your
on the
voice.
right day.
Yeah.
There
Look
with
at
your
you.
chest.
Bloody.
Yeah. looking stupid now. See, we
You
could
know,
we
he
could have handled
walked
this.
away and was like, I told you. I told you.
Should just walk your ass to first base. Hey, they call me the GOAT around these parts. And all the texts, I didn't play for the Astros and the Rangers, motherfucker. They only got 2 teams, and I played for both of them motherfuckers. Now, what you want? 1994, Friends premiered. Come suck my fucking dick, you fucking cucks, you hoes. But also, I think in comparison, more important than that, Carlos Correa, Puerto Rican American baseball player, is born. And yes, he was a part of those Astros teams. He's not with them anymore, but he was on that team in 2017 when they won, and he was a influential, instrumental figure on that team that won the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I cheated in high school, so it's cool. You know, do what you got to do. But it's way more something to celebrate than Friends. Other than Courtney Cox, you get a pass. I like me some Courtney Cox.
Don't you still want to eat her ass a little bit?
A lot of it.
A lot of it, yeah.
Remember that movie 3,000 Miles to Graceland she was in? The ridiculous one with the Elvis impersonators with Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell, dude?
I feel like I've watched that with you at least twice.
Oh, definitely. But she was fine in that. I try here, dude. It's impossible. There's some movies that I like that are just impossible to justify. That's one of them. I mean, it has Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell as Elvis impersonators who rob banks. It has Ice-T spinning in the air, firing machine guns at the end of it, and I think Howie Long's in it too. I mean, there's a lot going on, Steve.
I'm spinning helicopters and things like that.
Yeah,
I'm here with this bitch named Courtney Cox, like on Friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be on NBC too with this new show called Law and Order, with homicide investigation.
Homicide investigation. Yeah, I mean, he's in there. But amidst all that, Steve, Courtney Cox is looking like a hot piece of ace. So, Courtney, among all those evil people you were in, Steve and I will gladly be your human bidets for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying?
Keep that. You want to go black hair? You brown hair? I don't care. What's the hair down here? All right, but also, oh yeah, in that 1995, September 22nd, Canadian Bacon premieres in theaters. The U.S. president, low in opinion polls, gets talked into raising his popularity by trying to start a Cold War against Canada. And this is John Candy in his last film role.
And this was always on the shelves of the video store. I don't know that I've seen all of it, but I'm sure it's awesome. I know I've seen some of it.
Was it? It was always on the shelves?
Dude, I remember that exactly. Him fucking doing that. It was just like him in the winter on the fucking VHS case. But I remember always going by because, I mean, even us at our age, we all knew John Candy and loved him. So you'd be like, nah, it's got the word Canadian in it. I'm done.
They're not even a real
John
country.
Candy, you're a legend. You're awesome. I love you, John Candy. You're the best. Rest in peace.
SCTV, Uncle Buck, Home Alone. You're that fucking dude, man, forever. But on that same day in 95, 7 premiered in theaters. And once again, man, that Kevin fucking Spacey. Just last week, we were talking about Usual Suspects in 1995. This is 1995, September 22nd. He went from Usual Suspects one Friday, the following fucking Friday in 95, 7 drops.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like Kevin Spacey now, but this movie, if you have not seen this movie, you need to go see this movie because it is fucking awesome. It's just awesome. It's gross. It's crazy. It's freaky. It's intense.
It's 2 detectives, a rookie and a veteran, hunting a serial killer who used the 7 deadly sins as his motives. And like we said, Kevin Spacey, and then that Brad Pitt, he's just a cute white boy. I like that Brad Pitt. And then Morgan Freeman.
But what I loved about this is they really tried to like rough up Brad Pitt in this fucking movie. He was like the sexy, even in Fight Club, he was the sexy guy. You know, he's like this
Gruff.
heartthrob, but they beat him up. He's the pretty boy cop, and he's sort of learning the ropes of being a homicide detective with Morgan Freeman, and they're trailing the serial killer. And I mean, it's famous. The ending's famous. Um, I just love this movie. This movie made a huge impression on me as a kid because it was like, there was just some about it. It was just gross. Like when they would go to the crime scene, it was very memorable, you know? And if you've seen the new Batman, they basically rip this movie off and make Riddler the Kevin Spacey character. And that's why I didn't really care for that movie too much. But Seven, I mean, see it if you haven't. It's fucking awesome.
And this was before M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. It did, because this had a twist, didn't it? Somewhat of a twist.
I mean, it was just
But Usual Suspects was the twist.
the end has a huge twist. It's not a twist, it's a surprise. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Spoiler alert. They're trailing the serial killer, and the last sin that they haven't figured out yet ends up being, I don't remember what it is, but Brad Pitt, fucking his wife Gwyneth Paltrow's head is in a box at the end. It gets delivered to him, and then like the last death is actually the serial killer's death. It's crazy. That doesn't really even ruin anything. It's just insane to watch. But wasn't this David Fincher? Is that who made this?
David Fincher.
Man.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that motherfucker knows how to make a really just grim ass fucking movie. This is one of the best crime, like detective murder mystery movies. I don't even know what you would categorize this as, but it's one of the best.
But also in that same day in 95, Showgirls premiered in theaters. Nomi, a young drifter, arrives in Las Vegas to become a dancer and soon sets about clawing and pushing her way to become the top of the Vegas showgirls. And it stars Jessie from Saved by the Bell. So excited, so excited. Elizabeth Berkley, and directed by Paul Verhoeven.
I know you've seen this. We all saw this, Steve.
I have not.
You haven't seen it.
I just hear. I always hear how bad it is, and
it's terrible.
It shouldn't stop me because there's titties.
Well, that's the thing. We came for the titties, Steve. It was basically, this movie was marketed that you get to see Jesse Spano's titties, at least in my mind. You know, so you go in thinking this is just gonna be fucking Jesse Spano out here just flashing, and it's not really the case. So as a little kid, you get to see him, but this movie is, I think, like 2.5 hours long. Like, it's very long. There's a lot of fast forwarding for me. But it's one of those that's dumb, and it's a funny movie to watch probably when you're high, because now we have no attachment to the sexuality of it other than she's very beautiful, but it's hilarious.
She is still
it's
hot.
Bad. It's terrible. And she looks great in this. And think about that, though. Because they really did that. We grew up with her on Saved by the Bell. And we even had crushes on her. Some people did on Saved by the Bell. I would have smashed. If Jesse Spano walked up to me in high school and said anything sexual to me, instant yes.
All three of y'all.
Slurred here all day. Yes, mama. Yes, let's go right now. You know, so they used that, and they waited until she was legal, basically, and they were like, all right, you saw Saved by the Bell, now you get to see the real deal.
Remember the prude bitch from Bayside? Yeah, she's showing her titties and her whole areolas now with the nipples. Yeah.
You're gonna see it all, but you're gonna have to see 2.5 hours of a bad movie too. But so the box office was probably pretty good on this, but the movie itself, it is not good.
Yeah. And also, guys, please like, share, subscribe, and comment for more ways on how to pretend to care about the Queen of England. The only Queen of England I care about is Elton John and Freddie Mercury's band. But in 1996, WWF is airing the pay-per-view In Your House 10, Mind Games. And this was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Yeah, at the Core State Center. The main event of the show saw Shawn Michaels defend the WWF Championship against Mankind. Also on the show was tag team champs Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart Gunn defend the championship against Owen Hart and British Bulldog. The undercard saw Olympic athlete Mark Henry make his professional wrestling debut. This is your boy. Chocolate.
It's the sexual
chocolate.
Dude, I mean, who's saying that, dude? What if Mark Henry sang that? How mind-blowing would that be?
Because I promise you it wasn't Barry White. Yeah, he wasn't available.
Did you ever see Mark Henry dunk a basketball, Steve?
I totally did. He's an athlete. That's what they do.
But damn, that was just mind-blowing. He is. I mean, he really is. If you saw him, you'd be like, the fat motherfucker, but he can lift a fucking car over his head, basically. So, God, look at Shawn Michaels just strapped up right now, dude. He's about to super kick Mankind in the grill.
Hey, Mankind, you about to get that work. Something that's also funny to me, I saw this screenshot of Paul Bearer seeing Undertaker. It's like, that's just...
I'm busting. God, Paul Bearer busting a nut. That has to be a prank phone call someplace.
Hey, hi, Scam Likely. You want to see a picture of a big dick? Scam Likely, do you like the picture of my big dick? So, also something that's funny was the Jim Cornette Jose Lothario match, and that's just laughable. Happy birthday to Jim Cornette. We share birthdays.
Wow.
I swear, if wrestling was rap, Jim Cornette would have bars. He's a true, if you listen to his podcast, it's hilarious because a lot of it, majority of it is him shitting on the mainstream AEW and WWE. And he has this love-hate thing for Vince. So when he goes to town, it's comedic gold. So I think that pettiness is what we share. Thank you, Jim Cornette. I get you.
He gets 2 slaps with a fucking racquetball racket right now, Steve. I'm gonna have to check that out. I've seen it on YouTube. I wondered how good it was or what he was talking about. So that's good to hear. Kevin Nash also is he will talk some shit on his podcast. That's another good one. If you see that on YouTube,
I didn't know he had one.
Yeah, there's a couple guys like he definitely. I don't know if it's just on YouTube or if it's an audio thing, but he'll get on there and shoot about fucking definitely a lot of stuff about Scott Hall and all the stories he's involved in. But Jim Cornette, fucking weirdo racquetball thing. I don't get it, but you're a bad motherfucker.
He totally is, man. Somebody who probably didn't watch Mind Games, released by WWF, was American sportscaster Marv Albert. He pleads not guilty to sexual assault charges. Yes. No.
Let me bite your back. Yes. Yeah, I'm coming. Yes.
I like the way these teddies feel on my skin.
Can you get AIDS from a bite? What a weird thing. Like, this was one thing that came out that I even remember as a kid being like, wait, what? Marv Albert, that guy? It's like if Dick Vitale was getting caught like having fucking like crazy sex parties and shit.
Yeah, baby.
It's incredible, baby. I can hear that more than Marv Albert, though. That's
Let me put it between your titties, baby. Right.
Yes.
This was the same guy.
I do a
NBA on
great
NBC?
1 second Marv Albert impression, Steve. Yes.
All it takes is one word. All it takes. And then you got it.
Those aren't my teeth marks. Yes.
Mark Anthony coming down the paint. Yes. Weird.
He's on fire. My dick is on fire right now. These hookers are crazy.
That is some weird and wild stuff indeed. But also in that same day, 97, Elton John releases Candle in the Wind, 1997, a tribute to Diana, Princess of Wales in the US. And I remember when this happened. And still, this is another reason why I don't fuck with that royal family. Y'all ugly as fuck. Royal king, queen, y'all ain't shit. And y'all just do not take kindly to people who are somewhat presentable in public, getting married into the family. Oh, you're attractive. You don't
have
fit
good
with our
teeth.
family. You have a good dental plan. You don't fit with our family.
Well,
Oh,
my
like
thing
man,
is,
fuck y'all.
and I've seen this, I mean, recently because the anniversaries now, but like, Diana had all these like interviews that were like very open about how she's like, they don't like me, they think, and they don't care about anybody but themselves and all this. And then she died. It is wild, dude. Like, as somebody who
Exactly.
will veer into conspiracy theories sometimes, it is weird to see all that. And it's, she was literally out there like, these people are bad people. Like, I'm out here to love people. Like, that's what the one I saw. She's like, somebody has to
E-
go out there and love these motherfuckers. And these people are out here just
Exactly.
eating off you.
Exactly. And that's one of the conspiracies I'll smoke a bag of, because Princess Diana, she was a woman of the people. She went to Africa in different like impoverished areas of the world, and shook hands with the townsfolk and whatnot. And she was advised by the royal family to not do such things. You're supposed to be above the crust. You're supposed to just sit here and be privileged. And she was like, no, fuck that. I have a position that I can use and help heal the world.
And it
And
wasn't
that's
even like shit that's like creepy to maybe get some side money. She'd be out in like Africa, like removing landmines that were just like left from some war. She's like, I remember that specifically being like, damn, like this lady's out here fucking removing landmines. I mean, I know she wasn't doing it herself, but she
the
was
fact that she went
getting it
out, that she was
done.
out there. Yeah. And it just shows she had heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't buy into that whole like, oh, she is the labeled queen, so we got to call her queen. Fuck that shit. She was the queen because like she was for the people. She gave a fuck, which is I feel in my heart of hearts, which you should do when you in a certain position to help people. Not just sit there and be privileged. Oh, we have to respect God save the queen. The queen didn't even fucking believe in God. How do we fucking know that? Because like if she did, she would have been out there with Diana in the fucking clutches. In the
Damn, look at
clutches,
Steve
cuz.
is fucking emotional about, but I agree with you. You're right, and it does like set off a conspiratorial nerve in your head where it's like, damn, like these people had all this
Yeah.
power and they hated this lady, and they were, maybe that is
How
what it is, or maybe it was just a fucking awful mistake. Who knows? But
man, God don't like ugly.
Tonight,
Good morning, Senator Bingo!
when Parker talks,
Miss Musso says, what the heck? Take the rest of the day off.
people listen.
We stand witness to the awesome power of radio.
Parker Lewis can't lose. A special presentation next.
But in 1998, September 22nd, King of the Hills earned the episode And They Call It Bobby Love. Bobby falls head over heels for a classmate. Hank and his friends discover an abandoned couch in the alleyway where they normally stand and drink beer. And this is our
God damn
first
it.
time talking about King of the Hill, man.
Yeah, I honestly, Steve, this isn't something that I would ever say was one of my favorite shows, but like, even I'm not saying I think this is much better than what I'm about to say, but like, it was like that 70s show. It was in syndication almost immediately, and it was always on, and I never hesitated to watch it, but I was not a regular watcher of the show just in general.
You know what? I wasn't until I moved to Texas and I met some Hank Hills. I met some Dales. I met some Boomhauers. I worked with some Boomhauers and some Bills. And the authenticity, the references of the Dallas Cowboys, of Whataburger, and just the persona of Hank Hill and how he's just such a man's man. He doesn't show emotion. That's so Texas.
Hell
It's
yeah.
very born and bred, and it's like, oh my God, Mike Judge, he did it again. That fucking Mike Judge.
It's a memorable character, and the voice too. I mean, what's funny is like this character came from Beavis and Butthead a little bit. Like I think Hank Hill was
Mr.
in this,
Anderson.
yeah, Mr. Anderson. But like, so this is a thing, and again, it's I when I saw how many seasons it had, I was like, damn, I didn't even know it was on this long. But
Yeah.
I mean, how could you doubt Mike Judge? Dude makes gold every time he does some shit.
Even in live action shit, man. Shout out to Idiocracy.
Dude, fucking have you ever watched Silicon Valley? That shit's fire as fuck too. He made that.
Not yet.
It's hilarious, dude. It's great.
I hear, yeah, I hear it's great, man.
Office Space. I mean, Jesus. You can't fucking leave that out.
Yeah, we're gonna move your desk into the basement.
I'm gonna burn the building down. Yeah. But in this episode, Bobby, you know, he's a little sweet boy. Bobby's a sweet boy, Steve. This was little Matt Geddick, Steve. Just he's innocent, you know, and he's running through the halls, causing some trouble out of class, and he sees this older hall monitor. You know, he's 12, I think, and she's 14 or 16. 14, I think, and he gets a little bit of a schoolboy crush on this girl, Steve. The hot hall monitor.
He's hitting it off with her because, you know, he's showing his sense of humor. She chuckles or whatever. And then we cut to the guys. They're standing at their spot and they're looking at this abandoned couch, which is taking up space in their spot. This is their spot where they stand and drink beer.
And it's fucking the vibe up, Steve. Like there's an energy in that spot. You can't replicate that. It's like Jay and Silent Bob. They got to lean up against the quick stop. Anywhere else, it's not going to suffice. They
want to know how it got there.
What in the hell? What in the hell, Steve? When does, you know, so I'm not going to try to do it. I can only do 5-second fucking impressions. But again, this thing's fucking the vibe up. They're trying to figure it out. And the whole time while they're doing this, Bobby just fucking physical comedy. He's doing fucking jokes and he's making this chick laugh. And sparks are flying, Steve, so much so they're walking, talking. It's a little bit of evening. It's like, you know, late night or whatever. They get to this couch in the alleyway. She sits him down, just lays a smacker on him. I mean, I wish this happened to me, Steve.
Me too.
You know, I wish somebody just led me and like it was this easy. I mean, he got a layup, and you know, so. Now Bobby, he's in love, Steve. He's got a girlfriend.
And this kiss is on the same couch, the couch that the guys have kind of grown a liking to, because one by one they all sit down, and you know, first Dale sits down, Bill sits down, then Dale sits down, and then Boomhauer, he's like, "Yeah, man, look at that thing in the sky, that thing's so big," like, and then he sits down, and then Hank's finally like, "Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna sit down too." And they kind of grown alike into it.
Yeah, I mean, trash couch, but it's, you know, it's a hangout spot. Now they get to sit, but you know, reluctantly, they all sort of have to. And obviously, Bill's the first one. He rips the Band-Aid off. He's laying on it, I think. So they might have a bed bug issue, but you know what? They're living their life. You know,
they're living in Texas.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They've gotten over the rhythm issue. They've fallen in love with the couch. Bobby's getting some pussy, or at least some kisses, some smooches.
First base, just first base,
just a little, but that's enough. I mean, he's sweet little Bobby. He can't even believe it. But see now, Steve, now he's feeling himself a little bit because next day he's trying to replicate that magic. You know, this chick is feeling him. She's like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And they get back to that couch at one point. Bobby might get into sales because he's a hell of a salesman, because he's like, "Hey, let's go sit on the couch and kiss." And this chick's like, "Nah, I'm not feeling it." And he throws the ultimate sales pitch at her and is like, "Hey, you know, the last time we kissed, I really didn't want to do it, but I did. So you need to, you need to help me out here.
I got a pudge in my pants now, and I need you to do something about it. So, like, it's my turn. Let's sit on the couch, this fucking fluffy ass fucking probably got lice in it couch, and hey, let's get the smooching. So they get the smooching, but this time Bobby gets kind of weird and pervy because it's like while they're kissing, he's like playing with some imaginary tits, maybe his tits, imaginary tits, probably like splitting time. He's like, oh. And then Marie is her name. She's the hall monitor, and she gets weirded out, like, you know what, Bobby, I'm gonna leave. I'll holler at you. But while this is happening, Connie, she sees this while taking out the trash, and she's feeling some kind of way, some kind of way.
And that's the thing. Like Connie, you can tell she likes Bobby, so this sucks.
Yeah.
Bobby now though, he's ultimate feeling himself. He's got a girlfriend, so he walks into breakfast. I think we've sort of messed up the timeline a little bit, but at one point Bobby walks into breakfast after getting smooched, and he's like, God, the lights, they're just so beautiful. The breakfast is it's that post nut,
Cat,
welcome.
did you see? Did you see the sunshine? The sunshine this morning, it reminds me of my girlfriend's hair. Coffee.
My girlfriend. He's constantly saying my girlfriend, and even Hank's like, okay, like everyone's like, all right, Bobby, what are you talking about? And another hilarious shade throw that Hank throws at Bobby is Marie tries to call Bobby at one point. Hank answers the phone. She's like, hey, is Bobby there? This is Marie. And he's like, wrong number, because he doesn't think Bobby's getting any pussy, Steve.
Yeah, it can't be. Like, he knows his son's name is Bobby. It's like, there's no fucking way a girl is calling for my son. So you have the wrong number.
But he's a funny fat kid, Steve, and in this world that works, and he's getting some smooches. So back in where we're at now, the guys are getting set up. They've all fallen in love with the couch. They've even now erected like an awning. They got a little fucking cooler. They got a whole setup.
Got some
like
shade.
It's got like a little mini living room on the alleyway,
Getting their Golden Girls on. And then Khan, he's one of my favorite characters on the show. He's like, what did you do to my old couch? And they're like, oh shit, we didn't know it was your old couch. Is it really your old couch? Yeah, it's my old couch. The neighborhood cat peed on it, and we try to put it in Dale Gribble's yard. I got some old underwear. Do you want to use those too as a koozie?
And he just walks off, but they're cool with the piss couch, Steve. They're like, nah, this guy, that's fake news. Fuck this.
Yeah,
they have a very Texas attitude. They're like, that's not real. That's not what I want to be real. So, so they're sitting on a piss couch. Bobby's, he's feeling himself. And rightfully so. Smooches. They're laughing at his joke where he plays like an old Jewish guy with his pants pulled up. They love it. All the hits. Hey, what? What's going on? Or something.
What's
of that
this
nature.
doing here? Playing his Willie Allen shit. Oh, I just don't know why.
And now Marie, she's like, hey, let's go to this party. Let's go to this fucking party. And Bobby's like, of course, you're my girlfriend. Why not? Let's go to this party. But he gets to this party. It's like a disco in this basement of these kids' house. And Marie just goes off. She starts dancing with some other dudes. Marie, what the fuck? And that's Bobby's reaction. At first, he's like, hey, the lady needs a little room, sir. And the guy's like, hey, little fat turd, get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Move out the way, Bobby.
I'm trying to finger this chick, but Bobby, he's a little sweet boy. And he's like, why are you dancing with these guys? You're my girlfriend. He basically embarrasses her and makes her leave. And he confronts her in the streets and is like, why? Why would you do this to me? Why are you dancing with these guys? And her first instinct is like, I just like dancing with guys. That's not good enough. Okay, Marie? You're breaking this kid's heart.
Yeah, but I thought we were boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, we were just friends. Like, but we kiss. And she's like, I like kissing with a lot of motherfuckers. I'm for the streets, Bobby.
I've made out with you in an alley on a couch. I'm trash. Get it?
Yeah, and this is an early life lesson for Bobby that a lot of us didn't unfortunately get sooner in life. Some hoes is for the streets.
Yeah.
She kissed you. She
I'm
look
with
at
you,
you. She
Steve.
wink at you. She probably winked at a lot of motherfuckers. Don't get too full of yourself. It's just your turn. It's just
Yeah.
your turn to get
I
on a ride. Choo choo.
I wish I would like I didn't learn this till the end of high school, Steve. Even like college. Bobby learned this as a preteen. I would have been so much
Exactly.
better equipped. I would have been great.
Because he learned this while going to Tom Landry Middle School. Yeah, like I wish I would have learned this at Perrysburg.
He could have gone home and played with his guys, Steve. He could have pulled out the fucking GI Joes and went back to playing with his guys. He's that age
Yeah.
still, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. I got a goddamn guy right here, Steve. I got Beast right here. I'm 30 some years old. I got a guy.
But you're also playing with real, like, human titties.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've sucked my share of tits, Steve. I'm there.
There,
But
there you go.
again, he's getting a life lesson. He's heartbroken though. That doesn't change the heartbreak, Steve. She leaves. She's gone. Marie's gone. Bobby, what are you gonna do? He comes in, and one thing he did say, and I got to set this up because I thought it showed some shade from Peggy I didn't expect. At one point, he's like, "Look, I've kissed Marie more times in a couple of days than I've ever seen you guys kiss in my life." He says that to Peggy and
their whole marriage, and
Yeah.
Peggy takes offense to this.
She took that personally, Steve.
Well, Bobby's being out of line because you don't talk to your parents. Like, would you say that to your parents like that, to Sonya and
No, I
Mr.
mean,
Leroy?
no, but I wouldn't even be discussing this. But so she takes that to heart. She's trying to hold Hank Hill's hand. It's, Hank's he's old school. He's like, bitch, this ain't.
What are you doing, Peggy?
And
That's what
anytime
he
they
said.
do it, somebody in the peanut gallery is like, hey, I'm trying to eat a dinner here. I'm trying to watch TV. They're like throwing shade on it. So at the end of this episode, first, Bobby tells his parents it's over. He's on the ground on his shirt or without a shirt, face down on the ground for maybe a full day. Peggy, at this point, once she's found out that Bobby has broken up, she's like, so I guess your love wasn't as big as and as good as your dad's and mine. And I was like, damn, Peggy, what the fuck? You gotta,
You know what?
that's not the lesson to teach.
No, it is the lesson to teach. She's trying to teach her son that, like, look, me and your father have a bond. You just smooching with a bitch on a couch on a
With
random ass
Oshkosh.
couch.
She
Yeah.
ain't never changed out
Like-
of the Oshkosh bagosh, Steve. She's been rocking that for days.
Yeah, she's rocking them hoes. And Bobby don't care. This is a bitch that like him. Like, bitch, you could be wearing the same overalls on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But it don't matter. Bitch, you like me enough to kiss me in the mouth. You laugh at my jokes when I act a fool. But Peggy is here to say, like, that shit ain't what me and Hank got. So I feel like that lesson does need to be learned because they're setting a good example for their son. Like, look, if you ain't got a rider like this, throw the whole bitch away.
Throw the bitch and her Oshkosh bagosh out the window.
If it ain't that Sonya George love, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I mean, it's timeless, Steve. You're right. If it ain't that, it ain't nothing. And Bobby learns that, at least in a small way. And but here's the thing, Steve. This episode ain't over yet because they take their heartbroken son. They're like, "Look, kid, let's take you out to Chi-Chi's or whatever the fucking." No, it's a steakhouse.
The Panhandler Steakhouse.
Yeah. And Bobby goes there, and it's he's heartbroken. And then he looks over across the way. Marie's there with her fucking family, and she's fucking giving him the fucking side eye. And he's like, I want to go. And Hank teaches him another lesson because he's like, you can't let her think that she got the best of you. And he hears that, and instantly, Steve, here's where Bobby's head goes. You know what? I'm going to show out. Give me the 72-ounce steak.
I'm with the shits. Bobby is with the shits. Yeah, I see this vegetarian bitch over there talking about grass sprouts and shit. I want the 72-ounce steak. And you know what? Make that motherfucker rare.
Yeah, I want the blood coming out. I want to be sloppy with it.
I want to see a heartbeat. And because they got a challenge that, like, if you finish the 72-ounce sirloin steak in an hour, the whole thing is free.
Well, this is a real thing, Steve. I don't know if the restaurant's called the Panhandler, but in Texas, I know this is a real thing. I think it's in Dallas. It's attached to a
Mm.
cattle farm, and the restaurant you get like the shit right there. But this is famous. You have to eat a 72-ounce steak, a baked potato, a side salad, and bread in 70. And I don't even know if it's timed, but you can't puke and you can't get up, and you have to eat all that shit.
While there, don't puke while there.
Oh yeah, I mean, as soon as you
Yeah.
walk, as soon as you don't have to pay the check, you can do whatever, but you can't get up or like puke while you're eating and keep going. And I feel like Steve, given like if I exercise, don't eat for a day, and then smoke like a blunt, I feel like I could do that.
Same. I
You
really
know?
do.
I've eaten insane thing like quantities in my life, and I was fatter.
Yeah.
But even as a skinny guy, dude, I'll fucking fuck up some shit high, Steve.
The galley prepared us for such situations.
God, that
I
grilled
get that.
cheese, Steve. That grilled fucking cheese that the galley had. What's up? I probably
Grease
gained
cheese.
50 pounds just off those grilled cheeses and those fucking waffle fries, but god damn, they were good.
Man, it was at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning because why
Yeah,
not?
dude.
With some mozzarella sticks. And dude, Bobby scarfs this bitch down. He takes a little break, and they're like, oh, he's
And
not gonna
Marie's
do it.
like,
Not,
boo. And he's like,
Yeah.
bitch. Just fucking
Bitch, I
watch
just-
it. Just watch the juices, you know?
I just stopped to unbutton my pants for more room for this fucking sirloin, ho. Now watch this shit. And Marie's parents are cheering Bobby on because this is Texas and we like cow ass.
And also, yeah, and he does it, Steve. I mean, he does the shit. He eats all that meat. Marie fucking goes out in a huff, in a tizzy, in her Oshkosh bagash. What'd you get at a steakhouse, honey? You eat a side salad? And her parents, though, they're like, Bobby. He even wins their parents over. So,
Mhm.
Bobby, you won, dude. And Connie's there in the aftermath. She's like, Bobby,
Why you throwing up?
yeah. And she's like, you want to watch TV? And he has to, he's got to get it out. But this chick, he might have found his Peggy, Steve. Maybe later on down in the road, she's there right when he's puking. She still wants to hang out.
Bobby, you got a rider. If you're paying attention, because sometimes we miss our riders by just being like two head in the clouds. But like she's watching this dude puke, and she's like, "Well, after you're done doing this fucking gross thing, you want to come over and watch TV?
Maybe you do that
Maybe-
Jewish guy impersonation. I love it too.
Yeah, maybe play with my titties."
What in the hell?
Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
But
Tweak
yeah,
the
man,
nipple, Bobby.
on that same day in 1998, the Hewleys premiere on ABC. The Hewleys, starring D.L. Hewley, one of the kings of comedy. It's an American sitcom that aired on ABC from 1998 to 2000. It also stars Elise Neal as his wife. She's so damn fine.
God damn. Is it funny that the kings of comedy all had fire sitcoms or were involved in fire sitcoms? Steve Harvey and Cedric were on the same one. Bernie Mac had the best one of all of them. Rest in peace. And D.L. Hughley, I remember this not being. I didn't watch it that much, but it was good.
Dude, I didn't even think about that, man.
That's wild.
Wow, yeah, because like the Hewleys actually lasted at least, I want to say, what I just said it was from 1998 to 2002, 2000. So at least for that's enough for syndication.
I mean, they were just, and it worked a lot. I mean, a lot of, just even speaking about black stand-up comedians, Everybody Hates Chris came out around, like, there was in that hemisphere. Fucking, it's just the list goes on and on, but yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, the kings of comedy were the kings of sitcoms too. And that's, I mean, they kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit. I don't think these are taught, like the Hugleys especially, or even like, remember that show Damon? That was on, or no, it wasn't Damon. It was
My Wife and Kids.
Yeah, that was on
Yeah.
forever too, and it was a good one. And I don't think you hear about that, but man, It was a good decade to be in the Kings of Comedy, I guess. You were just fucking killing it.
And it also had John Hinton from our guy Overton from Living Single. But the guy that's right behind Elise Neal is it was the same guy from Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Oh, Little John?
And he played the neighbor on the Hewleys. Him and the lady behind on the side of him is his wife. They played the neighbors of the Hewleys.
You know, there's another big guy that played Drew Carey's brother, and I don't think they're the same people, but they're almost
Different
the
guy.
same people.
Different guy. But I think like this guy though from the Hewleys who was in Robin Hood, he was also in the first Die Hard. I think he was that guy.
Yeah, and like I said, he was in True Romance right at the end when they have that huge shootout in their hotel room.
I take that back. I got him mixed up. It was True Romance. I lie too much on this show.
He was always like a Swedish bodyguard to some like coke lord or some guy, that needed a tough.
But here he's like just the innocent next door neighbor. Hey, you need some buttermilk for that recipe?
Motherfucker's got range, Steve. He's an actor. Okay.
Very true. Very true. But also on that same day in 1998, Sports Night premiered on ABC. I don't know what day this was in 98. Maybe it was a Wednesday. I don't know. But Sports Night, I remember it having Benson on it. Robert Guillaume, if that's pronounced right. Robert Guillaume. And he was also the voice of Rafiki from Lion King.
Sports Night. Was there two white guys that were like, because I think I'm thinking of a show and it might not even be, because you said Benson's in it and I don't remember him being a part of it, but I don't know. I think this is that show where it's like two just blasé basic white dudes that are like ESPN hosts.
It was like a ESPN ripoff kind of deal.
Yeah, behind the scenes shit.
But behind the scenes. But Robert Guillaume is obviously the guy on my right, and he.
Holy shit, he was in there. That's crazy.
Yeah, I want to say he was like a veteran sports anchor or some shit like that.
I remember the smarmy guy with the button up with the sleeves rolled up.
Yeah.
I remember that guy. He was like Nick Kroll, like a smarmy Nick Kroll character. Like, yeah, okay, all right, sports guys. Yeah. But it was a lot of like will they, won't they shit because all these people are fucking and like in romances and stuff like that. I remember the show and I probably watched a good amount of episodes of this, but this is not a YouTube, you don't need to upload these. We're fine.
God damn. But also in that same day in 98, Trick Daddy releases his fucking opus, www.thug.com. And this is the one with Trick Love the Kids.
Yeah, we all know Trick Love the Kids, Steve. Did he steal that from Martin though?
Why not?
Love the Kids.
Hey, it's a good formula to have. Why not steal from great things?
Trick Love the Kids, Steve. I mean, I might have had this. I had one Trick Daddy album, but I wasn't into Trick Nation that much.
How could this is the one?
I mean, I'm sure this is the one I had. I don't remember that cover though. I don't know even that I had this. I might be lying to you right now.
Actually, you know what? I'm fucking lying to you because this isn't the one with Trick Love the Kids. This is the one with you don't know Nan. They can do things like me. You don't know Nan. I really don't want to say the N-word.
Okay.
I'm trying to avoid it. But that's the one. He's like, you don't know Nanny. They can do things like me.
You're putting that radio edit on there. I like that, Steve. In real time. That's good.
You don't know Nan. That was the shit though. That was my shit.
I mean, dude, I'm not gonna throw any shade at Trick Daddy because the motherfucker he's a legend. And his cribs was legendary too. I remember that.
What happened on his cribs?
I mean, I feel like he was just wasted, and at one point, like he took most of his clothes off and jumped in a pool and shit. Was just like out there, like waving bottles and shit like that. I mean, it looked great. I mean, he jumped into a pool with a waterfall and it was some bitches in it. So I mean, I get it, but
A
he
water
was
pool
in
with
he was
bitches.
in a white pair of. I just remember he was in like some white clothing that you don't need to jump in a pool in and then get out. Let's put it like that. I mean, it was like a wet dick contest. Like
Trick love the
I had
kids.
to blur some shit and not the
You
good
don't know,
shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You don't know, man.
man. But on that same day in '98, Keith Sweat releases his album "Still in the Game," and it didn't have the hits that you and I remember, but man, it is a grown jam like a motherfucker. Oh man, this is one of those. I think ladies, man, would appreciate this. Put some Gavassi in a glass with some ice in it, baby, and then put on some Keith Sweat.
I mean, he would definitely recommend that. And also, I just got to give a shout out to Keith Sweat because if you haven't been paying attention, Keith Sweat's become like a motivational romance just expert, basically, and rightfully so. I
Really?
mean, anybody with experience like this, how am I like? Was it Wilt Chamberlain esque numbers that this guy was getting and has gotten? I mean, he's not dead. I mean, he's out there.
He's getting
But
royalty pussy.
I mean, go search Keith Sweat even just on Facebook. The guy's putting out like life lessons in one sentence. I'm sure he has books and shit. He's just out there, Steve. He's still probably just swimming in it. Pussy. He has to wear like some kind of suit that's pussy juice resistant, so it doesn't fuck the suit up.
Nobody like me, nobody. But on that same day in 1998, Kiss, punk ass Kiss, and I'm only mentioning this because it's Kiss. They are a thing. Not just they were a thing, they are a thing. They released Psycho Circus. Did I give a fuck? Did Matt give a fuck? Probably not, because we at this time we're listening to Korn, Dr. Dre, Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock, Kiss. You didn't get invited to Woodstock '99. If you didn't, be gone.
This is Halloween. The fuck?
Is this a burlesque show or what are you? What are you doing here? With your long tongue and your fucking freaks? Go to the circus.
I always
But in
wondered though, just one thing about Kiss. They are known for the makeup. We've seen this makeup many times. What was the process when they were first becoming a band? How did they select this look? Because they don't change it. It never really changes. It's always the guy
the
with the
same,
cat shit. The star,
yeah.
like did it take a while or is it just like, I guess we got to go with this now. We're famous, like how'd that happen?
It's like Legion of Doom. It's like, oh yeah, you're the guy. You're gonna have like the little kaleidoscope thing going. And you're gonna have like a spider thing with like some kind of design around the spider.
You get less
every
coked
time.
up. You get less coked up, so you can do the
Less
more
coked.
complicated one.
Yeah, you'll do the lifting. The guy that's on all the fucking substances, he'll get on the top rope because clearly he's not going to feel the pain, and he'll do the fucking every time. Every time you guys come out, he's got to be the guy with the fucking kaleidoscope cluster bullshit, and you'll be the spider guy with the design.
Motherfucker did an 8-ball. He might actually just take off and fly away, but if he does it, he'll be fine. He's so gacked out. You can only communicate in insane moanings.
But in 1999, The West Wing premieres on NBC. Never watched it, never
Nope.
seen it, never cared to. That's good for them. It had a
What's
Martin
up,
Sheen.
Rob
That's
Lowe?
Charlie's
What's
daddy.
up? You're still going strong. This had many,
Yeah.
like, people love this fucking show. I didn't get it.
It lasted. Is it still going on?
It just looks
I feel
boring. Look at it. Look at it right there. What in that looks like anything you want to watch? I mean, if you just show me that picture, I'd be like, "What is that? Is that like a still from Dallas? The show
It's
from
the
the
guy-
70s?"
It's the guy from Billy Madison. It's I Tanya's mom next to him. It's Dule Hill. I feel like he has a career of just like cast. What do you call them when everybody's a person in the cast?
I mean, Martin Sheen's fucking in there. I mean, obviously the Prez, but yeah, even all the star power. We were too young, Steve. This is for a CBS crowd, and we were a fucking Nickelodeon crowd. You know.
Yeah, we were still kids. Well, not
Not
we
really,
were
but still,
teens.
we didn't want to see this. I don't want to see a show about politicians. Are they committing human sacrifices? That's the show I want to see. I want to see that dark show. You know,
You know what it was, Matt? We were too busy trying to get our license. It was 1999.
and jacking off and stuff, doing the real
Well, that
stuff,
too.
doing the real
Yeah.
work.
Is it a real titty? Yeah, I think it's a real titty. No, that was his kneecap. But in also in 1999, John Mayer releases his debut album, Inside Once Out, and that's so good for him. I never had any fucking John Mayer on my playlist, probably never will. His saving grace was the Dave Chappelle Show. But also in '99, 3-6 Mafia, Mafia released Underground Volume 2, Club Memphis, and this is the one that has half on the sack. Let some blow. Bring them toe, bring them toe, bring them toe, bring them toe, bring them toes and plenty beat. Bring them toes and plenty beat. Half on the side. It's got a couple joints. It's got
Bangers.
suck on my dick part 2. Gangsta Boo.
Hold on, Steve. Hold on. You gotta keep that going. Hold on one second. I gotta pause. So I just hope that at some point when the rubble's being pulled and the world's coming back from whatever apocalypse happens, that there's been some interview somewhere where some musical historian that's very proper is like, so when you were writing Suck My Dick Part 2, what was the thought process of that? And Juicy J's like just gives some very intelligent answer, and somewhere, someday, that happens because, I mean, they won Oscars, so at some point maybe that did happen, Steve, where they're like, so you're fresh off the Oscar, congratulations. So half on a sack of some blow or Suck My Dick Part 2. What's your favorite?
Well, it all started when I went through the hood, waving at the freaks, smoking out. Oh my god! But dude, somebody who probably didn't listen to John Mayer, 3-6 Mafia, or watch West Wing when its series premiered was probably George C. Scott, American actor, director, and producer. He passed away, born in 1927, and his claim to one bad motherfucker. And his major claim to fame was playing General S. Patton in the biographical film Patton. He famously refused to even attend the Oscars, just like Marlon Brando. But instead of sending the Native American out, he just refused to go because he thought that when it comes down to the arts and sciences, actors shouldn't be compared to each other because there are a lot of things to consider. And that's one of those things to make you go, he might have a point. He just didn't care about the pomp and circumstances of a lot of those ceremonies. And so Bankhead bounced to him for a man who stood on his own too.
He's a bad mother. He's in good movies. And I'll tell you a movie most people would never even know he's in that is fucking scary as fuck. He was in a sequel to that in a different way. It's more sad. But he was in Exorcist 3, Steve. And Jordan and I watched this movie in the dorms one night, I think coming off of some mushrooms or on mushrooms. And it is one of the most terrifying fucking movies. And he's in it. So George C. Scott, I think you were in like Miracle, like one of the Christmas movies, maybe played Scrooge.
He was. Yep, he was.
So this guy, for the uneducated, and obviously he was like some sort of old school badass too, like some John Wayne dude. So that's pretty fucking badass. Although John Wayne, I've heard some shit. So, but shout out to George C.
Pilgrim?
We used to give our one buddy Hurt shit because he wouldn't let anybody talk shit about John Wayne, and me and Jordan would be like, "Yeah, we heard he was gay," and he'd be like, "Shut up, shut your fucking mouth." It's like, dude, you're fucking our age. Why do you like John Wayne so goddamn much?
Right, you boomer.
Yeah, like fucking You want to see something funny that's John Wayne that shows you how fucking stupid the world was back then? He plays Genghis Khan in a movie, Steven. It's one of the fucking stupidest shits of all time.
I play
I'm
Genghis Khan.
Khan, Pilgrim. I'm gonna kill you. It's literally that bad. It's crazy.
This wiener's not gonna suck itself, Pilgrim. Any callbacks, honorable mentions, or reach around, sir?
I said it while we were talking about it, but to Pixar, if nobody else noticed this, and I'm the only one, you stole the movie Inside Out and Out's premise from Herman's head, and shame on you, because it's obvious. You stole
Funky
it.
bitch. I'm gonna get you, funky bitch.
What else you steal? You steal Toy Story? Who wrote that? That was Small Soldiers. I know who the fuck you are.
Yeah. Actually, Toy Story came before Small
Yeah, you're
Soldiers.
right. Sorry about that. But anywho.
That shit was stolen from somebody, though.
Mm-hmm. I seen you. You on candid camera now. What about you, Steve, on this glorious day that is the day of your birth? Any shout outs, cum shots, cum rags? I don't know.
This cum shout is out to the Bayside crew. Back in 1990, they had Save the Max, and I remember this. This is the episode where Lisa and Screech, they had their little dance off to save the Max, man. This is our hangout. Y'all ain't about to shut this down and then turn into a fucking In and Out. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
It's the Max. Would be fire though, but yeah, I remember this. Steve, I ate at the Max. I told you that.
Yeah, how was that burger?
Honestly, Steve, I'm not even saying it. Whoever was I don't know, Max wasn't there, but it was fire. I enjoyed it. It was delicious. It was right there. I mean, I could go to Denny's and get the same shit, but would I be at Belding's desk? No. Save the Max.
Guys. Guys. You guys. But also, I got to correct myself because the last episode I said that in 1998, that was the week that Irene got smacked. Nope, I was wrong. It was September 22nd, 1998, when Irene got smacked. In the episode, The Real World Seattle, Irene calls it quits.
Well,
yeah.
And she called it quits in a fiery way, Steve. She went out with a shebang-a-bang.
Smack the bitch, leave the teddy bear alone. Don't throw that teddy bear in the water. What did that teddy bear do? That teddy bear didn't call you gay. She did. Smack the bitch. Leave the teddy bear alone.
Even a relationship with us would never work. Oh, yeah? Why is that? Because you're gay.
But apparently the guy was gay. And
you didn't appreciate that.
But at the time, 98, didn't appreciate it.
I'm telling you right now, Steve, I want to know. The devil comes up and you get one truth about a show. Tell me. I think somebody fed her that line. Some producer's like, hey, go tell him he's gay. He can't do it. What is he going to do? Hate you? Sure enough.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, reality TV producers are scum. I guarantee there had to be somebody that was like, say this.
That motherfucker said you don't know how to cook.
Yeah, exactly.
About that bitch?
He said you can't write. Do you know that? Here's his file he gave us with all of his secrets. Maybe read that for 5 minutes and figure something out.
Hey, budding musician. That guy said you don't know how to strum a guitar to save your fucking own ass. Huh?
Here's a gun.
But please, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Ask your sister if she wants to see our wee-wees. Hey, please check out Over the Kosher on Sunday. Crushgasm on Wednesday. B3F podcast with Joey and Steve, and Don't Worry, B-Movie. This is Steve G and Maggie with
Happened in the 90s. Happy birthday, Steve.
He needs some milk.